but that's not my fault. My job is not to put you in law school today. My job is to handle the trial. That objection, you don't object just because you disagree. Hold on. Objecting because you disagree is not a valid objection. You have to object for a legal reason. All right, so folks, now we're going to move into opening statement.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. Good morning. It is illegal to drive in the state of Michigan when you are drunk. It is illegal to drive in the state of Michigan when you have a blood alcohol level greater than 0.08. And it is illegal to operate a motor vehicle while having an open bottle of alcohol in the passenger compartment of the vehicle. Now, it's the evening of October 5th, 2023, here in the city of Romulus, just before midnight. The city of Romulus gets a call that there's a dispatch to an accident that happened on Van Born Road near Cheney. Police officers, including Officer Grishaber, show up at the scene with two vehicles on the side of the road after having been in an accident. They interview the individuals there. They encounter an person by the name of Mr. Dwayne Lee, who's operating one of the crashed vehicles with an airbag deployed. Who's there? There are no field sobriety tests that are performed at the scene because Mr. Lee indicates that he needs some medical attention. An ambulance is there. He's brought to the police station. At the time, at the scene, an open bottle of tequila is found in the passenger compartment of the vehicle. And while at the hospital, he is interviewed and admits to drinking one Corona beer that evening. That's what he admits. At that point in time, he's offered to do a breathalyzer test, data master. He refuses. And at that point in time, the procedure is for the police to go get a search warrant to draw blood. The blood is drawn at the hospital that evening and then sent to the state lab for testing. Tests come back greater than 0.01. Mr. Lee was operating while intoxicated that evening. And we are here because he was operating while intoxicated. Now, what is the defense going to say? I'm not sure. As the judge explained, you don't get to really hear too much other than some banter or some conversation. He may say that he wasn't drinking that night, but the facts are that the blood work comes back, there's an open bottle of tequila, and he admits to drinking beer that night. He may say that there's something wrong with the testing of the procedure. However, you were there, the testimony of the officers, the state lab person, and the technician from the hospital was here to describe how the procedure happens for the drawing of blood. And he may indicate that he was set up somehow that night, which doesn't make any sense whatsoever, since there's no, no, Mr. Lee, there's no reason to set him up, respond to an accident that evening. So that's why. At the end of the proofs in this case, I believe you will come to a conviction on operating while intoxicated and open intoxicant vehicle. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Krekel. Mr. Lee, now or later? It's up to you. It's up to you. Okay, you can take the podium if you would.
Morning, members of the jury. First off, I just want to say that I'm not trying to say that the police officers are trying to set me up. I'm simply saying that there was some kind of mishandling with testing or whatever took place. There was mishandling in the process of it, and we'll get to the bottom of that. As far as the bottle, I didn't have that bottle. I told them what I drank earlier that day. I didn't even have it in my car. There's a lot of things that took place during that accident before they even got there. There was a lot of time that went by before they even got there between me and the driver. There was a lot of interaction. There was a lot of argument, and I'm going to get into that. But not saying the officers trying to set me up. I'm just saying that whatever took place in between that, it had something to do with everything I said here. Good morning, members of the jury. I truly appreciate your service. I had time. I didn't think I would be able to interview anybody, but I don't know much about you all. So I don't have any questions, any idea what you know about the law. I don't know what you know about scientific aspects of this case, or whether you know how important proper handling of blood and lack of mistakes or bad intentions made during the blood taking test process, the investigative or report writing process are important. I also don't have any idea if you hold any form of bias. I wrote this before I interviewed you all. I also don't know if I hold or if you all hold any bias, whether towards the police or towards drunk drivers. However, I will beg of you and hope that you be advised and mindful of the rights of myself as a defendant while approaching this situation with an impartial mindset. My name is Dwayne Lee. I am defending myself against the allegement of DUI made against me in these proceedings. I am standing alone without counsel, not by choice. Had it been my choice, I wouldn't have sat in front of as many attorneys as I did. The reason they all quit on me is because over the course of almost 2 years, they were trying to get me to take a plea deal. I wouldn't just plead guilty. I'm not pleading guilty to those crimes or any lesser crimes because I'm simply not guilty. I am not guilty of DUI or the alleged charge of having the bottle that the officers say they found in that vehicle that night. I just received that picture. And I've been saying that since the first night I was questioned. Even though I have gone through a lengthy process and been making it to every court date, exception of being late to one, I have been given a time limit to speak, and I want to make all my points, but I don't want to hold up any of your time. So I'm saying everything. I'm hoping that everything is understandable, despite the fact that I may be seeming to blow through. I just wrote this last night because I didn't know if I was scheduled for another trial before it got postponed. The facts of that night, from my view, are both simple and complex at the same time. They're simple in the aspect of my innocence. I didn't drink any alcoholic drinks that night, and I didn't cause that accident. There was absolutely nothing wrong with me before that accident and or my injuries. I have scars from my injuries. I have pictures of my injuries also. I have scars that I hit my head, and I have my ribs were injured as well. There was nothing wrong with me before the accident or my injuries. And even after the accident, I was physically capable, just in pain and a little groggy from not alcohol or drugs, but from injuries, simple. Complexity comes in at the fact that I still don't know if that guy crashed into me on purpose or if he was high or drunk or anything himself. I also don't to this day know exactly who that guy is fully, but he claims to, despite the fact that he recognized me, he doesn't know me or my then thought to be mother of my child I thought was mine. That's context of the video, which from what I understand, we're not going to be able to watch the whole video. There's a lot of things in the video I would have thought that were important, but prosecution doesn't think it's important. He's going to dissect some things out that he thinks is important in his aspect, but I wasn't given evidence. I obviously don't have a lawyer. No lawyer wanted to really help me through this. They just wanted
Object to one statement, so in the statement, not being.
and then they say that they gave me evidence. I never was given they said they would send the blood to another lab to get it tested. I wanted it to get me tested. the video. I wanted the video for myself so I can present it to the court. Now I'm hearing that they're not going to present all the video. But he said he gave me nothing but reports from the officers. That's only what the officers say against me. It's nothing that I can use for myself. It's not everything against me that I can use in entirety. I also don't know to this day if this guy fooled, if he knows he recognized me, but he said he doesn't know me or the mother of my child. I thought it was he didn't know what happened or how he crashed into me. Because he ran me further onto the grass when I tried to swerve to the right to get out of his way. And that's what you'll see in the video as well. I'm coming down this way. He's coming down this way. He knocked me this way. We're in this direction. If I went in the direction that it says in the crash report, we would be in this direction. But we weren't. We were in this direction. So that's part of what I'm going to ask the officer as well.
Mr. Lee, 5-minute warning.
Okay. He then started to say somehow, however, that changed from the time his friend just going past him. Exchanging me info. He wanted me to leave without exchanging info at first, and I told him to call my phone because I couldn't find it. But I knew once he called me, I could exchange info through phone and call the police. He kept saying he doesn't want to call the police. He doesn't want to call the police. All of that changed from the time that his friend came up until the police came. Then he started saying that somehow I hit him, which is impossible. He said that he was injured. He knew that he saw that there was a liquor bottle in my car, which he couldn't have. He went in his car. That's another thing that's on the video too. When we got into the accident, we both got out of our cars, and I looked at his car. That's on the video. I said, I'm looking at his car. I said, are there kids in your car? I'm nervous. I'm sorry. I've never done this before. I've never represented myself in court by myself. Just a little nervous, that's all. I'm a little flustered. But I got out of my car. I looked at his car. He looked at my car. He was doing all that. For a long course of time, I faded. And I woke up and he had friends. He had people that he had called there. The other complexity is that the other complexity I said, I don't know if I went past. The other complexity is that I get accused of doing something alcohol related while I'm not drinking alcohol. One of the officers said they found a tequila bottle in my car, and he asked me, was it mine? I said no. He asked had I drank liquor, beer, or wine. And that's the crazy thing. I drink from time to time non-alcoholic Heineken beer, non-alcoholic Coronas. The beer I drank way earlier that day was a non-alcoholic Corona. It has a light blue label on the bottom. The regular Corona has a dark blue label on the bottom. I know what that is, but I just had to let you all know that. The officer said he didn't believe that it was a non-alcoholic beer, which is not him, it was another officer. He got there later. He didn't believe that it was non-alcoholic beer. But because I was a little disoriented, that I was intoxicated, and they reconstructed the whole accident contrary to what really happened. However, I didn't cause the accident. There is a such thing as non-alcoholic beer, and I had injuries which would lead to disorientation. I don't know why they chose to believe them or why they chose to say certain things that were not true. I just looked at it like the driver got away with blaming that accident on an injured, disoriented person because the officers came and did a poor job of really investigating and did a horrible job handling every aspect of this case. And once again, I will line up my questioning and closing statements that the lawyer advised me that I will be able to do in a way that will illustrate these mishandlements or mistakes. Thank you.
You're welcome. Mr. Greco, witness?
Yes, Your Honor. For the first witness, the prosecution calls Officer River Grisham.
Is it Grishaber or Grishaber? Shaber, long A? Yeah. Mr. Greco, yeah, come on. Your lab person is in the waiting room. Raise your hand. Swear affirm, tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth? Yes, sir. Have a seat. Settle in, state your name, spell your last for the record, please.
Hello, I'm Officer Shaver, Government Police Department. R-I-H-A-B-E-R.
Thank you. Proceed, Mr. Greco.
Officer, please state your name for the record. And are you currently employed?
And
And where are you currently employed?
the Police Department,
And what is your position of employment?
I'm a boss.
Were you working on the evening of October 5th, 2023?
Yes,
And you recall being called to a scene of an accident?
yes.
Approximately what time?
11:41.
And what do you recall about that evening? How did you get there? What led us there?
I remember showing up to a accident at Van Born and Chamberlain Road, it was east of Chamberlain. When I arrived, I was driving little vehicles, they were in the ambulance already. I actually located Mr. Lee still in his vehicle, driver's seat. I had him set out, just because I had seen that the airbag said went to the boy. I got him out of the vehicle, he requested medical attention. Put him to the ambulance. Scene that was.
And that was Van Born and Chamberlain here in Romulus, correct?
Correct.
Okay, all right. Did you, okay, once you had interaction with him, you got out of the car, you wanted to get cared for by EMTs, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And what kind of vehicle was he driving?
Driving a Ford Explorer.
Okay.
Black and gold.
Okay. And where were the cars positioned with respect to roadway and?
Both vehicles were actually positioned on the south side of Van Born Road in the grass, facing the same direction.
Were you able to speak with Mr. Lee regarding about his version of events about what happened?
I do not recall speaking with him in the events on scene, later at the hospitals where I remember the chain of events first in.
And with respect to the issues while we're here today, the cause of the accident or who caused it, whether it was Mr. Lee or the other driver of the vehicle, is neither here nor there, correct?
Correct.
Did you determine that Mr. Lee, well, Mr. Lee, you indicated was in the driver's seat, correct?
Correct.
Either at the scene or you indicated at the hospital. Did he indicate that he was the operator of that vehicle?
He actually indicated that he was operating the vehicle on scene.
On the scene.
Correct.
And is Mr. Dwayne Lee the person you encountered in the courtroom today?
Yes.
Okay, where is he?
He's sitting right there with a black jacket.
Notice for the record.
All right, describe if you can for the jury your interaction with Mr. Lee. You indicated a little bit, you got him out of the car, brought him to, what else happened?
I showed up to the scene and trying to figure out if there's still occupants of the vehicle. My encounter with Mr. Lee and then step out of the vehicle. He said airbags were deployed and I didn't want a part of the airbag to deploy. Had him step out of the vehicle, he stated to me that he was driving the vehicle, he was also in the driver's seat. And I asked him if he needed medical attention, due to his wrist. We walked over to the ambulance and then from there, I don't recall having further contact with him on the scene. he was transported to, Beaumont Hospital.
Are you able to describe, his, demeanor when you interacted with him at the scene?
So there was on scene, when I actually had to step out of the vehicle. He was kind of slow to answer my questions. And then as far as what I observed or noticed while I was on the scene, there was an odor of intoxicants coming from him as well as inside the vehicle. No slurred speech or anything, or sorry, no blurred eyes or nothing like that, just the slurred speech when trying to talk with him.
Was there any evidence of alcohol within Mr. Lee's vehicle that evening?
Yes,
And what?
another officer doing the search of the vehicle located in the passenger side of the vehicle at liquor bottle.
Okay, you indicated another officer found it, but you saw it that night?
Correct.
I'm gonna hand you what's been marked as People's Exhibit number 1. Ask you to take a moment, look at that for a moment. All right, what is Exhibit number 1?
Exhibit number 1 is the liquor bottle that was found on the passenger side of the vehicle, Mr. Lee's vehicle.
Okay, it looks like a photograph of it, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Did you take this photograph?
I did.
Okay, and where was it taken of? Where was it taken?
I believe on the hood of Mr. Lee's vehicle.
And does this photo accurately depict what's depicted in the photograph from that evening?
Yes.
Or I would like to move for admission of plaintiff's exhibit or prosecution's exhibit number 1.
Mr. Lee, any objection to that evidence being admitted? Okay, that would go to the weight of the evidence. I'll admit it, and then you can certainly make that argument. Go ahead, Mr. Greco.
All right. Were you able to perform any field sobriety tests on Mr. King? That's because you requested medical attention.
Correct.
At some point, you left the scene of the accident, correct?
Correct.
Was Mr. Lee transported to the hospital?
Beaumont Hospital.
Beaumont Wayne Hospital. Did you go there?
Did.
Okay, when you went to the hospital, were you with anyone?
I was with another officer, yeah.
All right, so when you went to the hospital, what's the next thing that happened?
We actually went and spoke with Mr. Lee, trying to get more, of the circumstances of what took place. He was interviewed. After his interview, I actually left the scene, Officer Catt stayed on scene and, stood by with Mr. Lee while I went to the police station to obtain a search warrant. The search warrant was for him refusing to, draw blood for us for the, incident.
Or refusal to consent to draw blood?
Correct.
Okay. So at some point in time, you or Officer Catt asked him if he would consent to a blood draw, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and so he denied that, and then the procedure is to get a search warrant?
Correct.
Okay, and that's why you're saying you left the hospital to go get that, correct?
Correct.
Did he make any statements that you recall regarding any alcohol used by him that evening?
Again, Officer Catt, he was the officer who was questioning Mr. Lee at the hospital. I was there sitting by, and, I believe, or sorry, I don't believe, I know, Mr. Lee stated that he had earlier in the day one drink, which was a Corona. That was it.
During your interaction with Mr. Lee that evening at the hospital, did you have on your body worn camera?
Yes.
Your Honor, this time, let it play. It's actually a 9-minute video of the body worn cam.
All right, now Dave. Okay, so it's not on there.
Not up here either.
Is it showing on your screens?
You got it there? I don't know why it's not on the big one.
It's on.
Is it on yours?
The sound comes in.
The sound comes in when they turn it.
Mr. Lee, you've got the image though? All right. Sorry.
Officer, are you able to see the beginning of the video on your screen there?
Yes,
Okay. And you had indicated there's silence right now because you don't have the audio on, correct?
correct. I believe 30 seconds after. Turn your video footage on. That's what it is.
Okay. And this, what we're seeing right now is the body worn camera on your chest position, and that's Officer Paquette in front of you.
Correct.
Does that indicate you turned down the sound there?
Correct.
The audio. So just to be clear, you indicated he was going to an address of Glover Street, Wayne, Michigan.
Correct.
On my way there, when I turned down the street, the street where there was a lot of gas stations, remember what's trying to do me. You know, I got out the car, I literally got out the car, and I was getting paid to go to his car and go over. In his car, he said, "Yeah, training TV, are you okay?" I said, "I'm fine, and I'm okay, but are you okay?" He is. The only thing I asked for, are any kids in the car? He said, no. So first he said yes, then he said, when he said, no, let's pull off. I said, he said, there was kids in the car. He got in the back seat. There were only kids in the car. He said, no, there was no kids in the car. There was a car seat. If you look at his car, there's a car seat in the back seat. And he said, no, there was no kids in the car. I said, okay, so when did you get your insurance? He said, no, let's just leave. By the time I walked over to him, and I even took out and then that was the end. But the whole thing is, how many crashes, you know how many crashes? But I was trying to give you the that's the least far. You know, I'm like 30. You only get days.
So he indicated was coming from, he got off work at 12:30. And at this point in time, it's just after midnight. on December 6th, correct?
Correct,
And you had responded to the scene on October 5th at 11.
correct.
All right.
11:41.
11:41.
No. It was like. Available, home release. Balloon just had a video one that. Lost my heart. No. He said,
Again, just so we can confirm what we're hearing now, you had testified earlier that he indicated that he had one beer, correct?
Correct,
And that's what we just heard as admission on video, correct?
correct,
And he indicated it was the Corona beer.
correct.
Did he indicate that it was a non-alcoholic?
You did not.
Objection,
Can you pause the video? What's your objection, sir?
he clearly just asked me, did I have the liquor? I said no. And I told the other officer.
All right, so hold on. When you make an objection, it's got to be a legal objection. So you can object because it's not relevant. You can object because it's hearsay evidence. There are specific reasons you can object. So what I heard is he said, no hard liquor, and you said, yes, no hard liquor.
Well, yeah,
Is
that's
that
what
what-
I was telling him,
Okay,
yes.
all
I
right,
didn't have no alcohol, period.
okay, but, all right, so once again, that's to the weight of the evidence. You can argue that what words were spoken means something different than what the prosecutor is arguing they mean. You understand that?
Okay, well,
Yes or no? Do you understand that? If you no, and I'll try to explain it.
yes, I hear what you're saying.
Okay, so hold on. Okay. Objecting because you disagree is not a valid objection. You have to object for a legal reason. Okay? You can make your argument. You can cross-examine him about exactly what was said, what the question was and how you answered. You can do all that through cross-examination. But I'm going to overrule your objection because I don't think it's a legal objection. You understand my ruling?
Wait, you're saying that I can only do, I'm learning this as I go, obviously.
But that's not my fault. My job is not to put you in law school today. My job is to handle the trial. I'm explaining to you that objection, you don't object just because you disagree. There's got to be a legal basis for the objection. Your disagreement can come in your questioning of the officer and in your own testimony or your own witnesses or your closing statement. That's where you can disagree. Understood? All right, Mr. Greco, continue.
Because she told me that we can get him. Where's he? When he wasn't in her house, when I go. No, you grab, she told me to come get him. That's the thing, I wasn't supposed to be off right now. I was supposed to be off in the morning. But I was having to get him, I was. But I can't go get him. She called me, and then she said, and then once she was there, my son. Like you are. On the other, the school concert on the street, somebody shoot me. Then he said, but. Eight times or. Listen, eight times 30. You were drinking. We can't tell them how to start playing, right? You gotta witness it. I believe that you aren't here. What I got to have, I did. See if you can. Okay, so you're gonna read you. Verbatim. It is flying out. It is. Using. I need these up. You're under operating vehicle off that day. Well, nothing. Nothing you can do. You're answering. If you make it. You're right. Different response. We take one. Yes or no? And we take one. No.
So at this point in time, did you consider that a refusal? At this point in time, we're speaking about, you're talking about what you need to do next.
Correct.
Okay, what is it?
I need to go back to the Rouse.
You want me to know? That's you and. Thank you. I'm gonna hang up this. All right, thanks. Wait. No, get out.
Officer, we just watched a video that's approximately 9 to 10 minutes long. Was that your body camera video from that night of the theft or actually the early morning hours of October 6th?
It was,
Was Mr. Lee on video in the hospital bed?
yes,
And is what is shown on video accurately depict what occurred that night with you, Officer Beckett, and the defendant at the hospital?
it does.
Your Honor, I'd like to move for admission of exhibit number 2, the video.
Thank you. Mr. Lee, any objections to that segment of the video coming in?
Well, as far as what was just watched,
Yes. Any objections to admission of that video, just like we admitted the photograph?
I mean, you get, but yeah, of course.
Of course we can.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
All right, but I think I already asked you this, but yeah, we saw you leaving the hospital, correct?
Correct.
You indicated you went to the police department to fill out the necessary paperwork to get a search warrant, correct?
Correct.
All right, what does that mean?
So you go back to your station, I went back obviously to the hospital department. I did the necessary work, To obtain a search warrant, I have to contact a magistrate, contacted Magistrate Alan Hidman. Advised him of the circumstances of what we had. He approved of the search warrant. At that point in time, I obtained a blood kit from the Reynolds Department. It's sealed, and I take that blood kit to the hospital and continue forward with the.
Okay, so you're saying, so you get the search warrant, once you get that, this is gonna be search warrant to draw someone's blood. You're saying you stop by, there is a kit, like a blood draw kit that comes in a box.
Correct.
Sealed,
Sealed, correct,
and once you get a kit, you go back to the hospital, correct?
correct.
All right, what's the next thing? What's the procedure on how this happens?
You take the blood kit to somebody who is approved at the hospital to obtain a blood draw, phlebotomist or tech. They open up the kit in front of you, and when they open up the kit, there's paperwork they have to fill out, there's paperwork you have to fill out as the officer. It contains 2 vials, empty vials, and then they obtain his blood, the street's blood. Carefully placing each vial back into the box, with the necessary paperwork. There's also a label that is on the blood that indicates the time of each blood draw. Then the box gets sealed up with the necessary paperwork, sealed in front of myself, and I do not recall if I was there during the sealing, but I was the officer who provided the paperwork and watched the blood draw take place.
And with you and the
A man walked into court alone, facing drunk driving charges after a late-night crash. Prosecutors claimed police found an open tequila bottle in his car, and blood tests proved he was intoxicated. But the defendant shocked the courtroom by representing himself and accusing officers of mishandling evidence. He argued his injuries from the crash caused confusion, not alcohol. Tension exploded when the judge snapped, "My job is not to put you in law school today." The defendant kept fighting, challenging police reports, blood evidence, and even prior conviction claims. The courtroom battle only got more intense from there. Comment for the next part.
being present as well.
Correct,
Now, all the things that you just described occurred in this case.
correct.
Did you follow the procedures accurately and correctly to obtain the blood in this case?
I did.
And then what do you do with the kit?
Once the kit is sealed by the phlebotomist, you take that kit that is sealed back to the Rounds Police Station, and it goes out to, I believe, MSP for the lab results.
That's being sent to the MSP, Michigan State Police Forensic Lab, correct?
Correct.
And at that point in time, that evening, did that essentially conclude your involvement in this case until today?
It did.
I have no further questions.
Mr. Lee, do you have any questions for this officer?